Hello everyone, welcome to another session in Golang. In this session, we'll talk about the break statements in Go, continue statements in Go, how we can achieve go to behavior in Go, what are the labels on Go, and how we can use break and continue with labels in Go. So let me quickly start with the break statement. Break statement is nothing but the statement that terminates the loop wherever it is encountered. Now the syntax of the break statement is simple. Break keyword, you can use the terminator or cannot, it's up to your choice. Now let me quickly write down a simple break program for you with the break loop. So in this program, you can say I have written a loop that start with I equal to 0, it will go till 5, and whenever I value will become 2, it will break. So after 2 and whenever the I value will become 2, this statement will not execute because the whole loop will be terminating there. So the value of I will that will be printed will be 0 and 1. So let me quickly run the program. So it says the value of I is 0 and the value of I is 1. So what is exactly happening is whenever I value will become 2, this is breaking. That means this for loop is breaking and the control is coming here. So it is terminating the for loop. So let me show you another example of break statement in nested for loop. Now let me quickly write down another for loop for you here. Here I'll say for I'll initialize j equal to 0, j is less than equal to 5, j plus plus, then this. Now inside it, what I am trying to do is terminate the loop if I value will become 2. So what it will do is whenever I is 2, it will terminate this loop and this value will not be printed for j. So let me say value of I is I and comma value of j is, and I will print j. Let me show you what I meant by that is I'll run the program. You see what it is printing. Value of I is 0. It is printing the value of j 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because I and j both go till 5. Now value of j is 1. It is printed I is 1. It is printed j 0, 1, 2, but value of I with 2 is not there. Why? Because I have told here if the value of I is 2, exit this break. So whenever the value of I is becoming 2, the control is flowing here and it is incrementing the value of I to 3 and then it is printing this. Now coming to the continue statement. So let me comment this code for you for later use. Now the syntax for the continue statement is simple. Continue keyword with a semicolon or without a semicolon. Now what a continue statement will do is continue statement will skip the current iteration of the loop and it passes the control flow of the program to the next iteration. So let me tell you what I meant by that. I'm uncommenting this and let me remove this. And I am saying if I barabar equal to 2, then use the continue statement. And here I'm saying fmt dot println. I'm say value of I is and equal to I. Now let's see what will happen as the output. Let me clear the window for you. Now you see it haven't print 2 because whenever the value of I has become 2, the control is being passed here and the value of I is being increased so that the value of I with 2 is not printed. It says 0, 1, 3, 4, 5. Now if I will say the value of I will become 4, so it will not print 4 here. You see 0, 1, 2, 3, 5. Now let me show you an example where we can use the continue statement with the nested for loop. Now this is the same program or the example that I have shown you previously. This is, oh, I'm sorry. Here it is. Now inside it, I will just copy this. Okay, so now here I'm saying whenever the value of j will become 2, continue. Now what this program will do is it will skip the value of j equal to 2 and it will print everything. Now let me show you here. You see the value of j is not 2 here. Value of I is being printed from 0 to 5 and value of j is being printed 0, 1, then 3, not 2. 0, 1, then 3, not 2. You see 0, 1, and then 3. Now, if I want to skip the whole I, then I can do this. I'm sorry. Let me clear down and run it for you. You see the whole I is skipped. So see, value of I is 0, value of I is 1, and then the value of I is 3 directly, not the 1. So this is all about, quickly I'm telling you about the continue statement. Now let's talk about the labels in Go. Now similar to goto statements where you can pass the control to any line within the function scope. So this is what is the use of the labels in Go. Now what is the syntax for labels? The syntax for labels is I'll write goto, then the name of the label. I'll say label name, then there are statement, and then the label name and a colon. So this is the syntax of the label. So I can use label with goto, I can use label with break, and I can use label with continue statement as well. The behavior will be different. So let me show you programmatically of what I meant by that. Now here, whenever I'm using continue, so what it is doing is it is actually breaking the current loop only. Now what if whenever the value of I or j will become 2, I want to break this loop and I want to go directly to loop start. And I want to say go to loop start. Now what I want to do here is whenever the value of j will become 2, go to loop start and else print this. So now this will actually fire an infinite loop for me. Now, how come? So whenever it will go to loop start, so every value for I and j will be resetted. So I will again start at I, 0, j will again start at 0, and then we'll check it. So basically what it will do is it will print the value of I as 0, j as 0, I as 0, j as 1, and then it will go to loop start. Again, it will print the value of I as 0, j as 0, I as 1, j as 1, and the loop will go for an infinite period of time. Let me show you by running it. You see, it will run for an infinite time. Let me exit it. Now it says, you say value of I is 0, j is 0, I is 0, j is 1, and now j has become 2. So it is again going to the loop start because we have used the goto statement here. And it is resetting the value, everything back. So it is starting with I as 0, and then it is working here. Now we can also use goto or the labels with break, but the behavior will change. As I have told you, that behavior will change. So what do I mean by that is, let me show you. Now, whenever I have used goto, I have shown you that it has become an infinite loop. But when I use break with the labels, let's see how the behavior will change. You see, it has printed the value of j as 0 and it has printed the value of j as 1, and it has exited the loop because we have used a break statement. Now, if I will use the continue, the behavior will again change. Let me show you here. You see, it has printed the value of I as 0, 1. So the value of I is printed from 0 to 5. The value of j is printed only 0, 1 because after this we are continuing to the next iteration. But instead of continuing to the next iteration, we are going to the loop start. So basically when I use continue, the variable I is not reset back. But when I use goto here, the value of I initialized again to 0. When I use break here, the control normally breaks it. So this is majorly the difference between when we use the labels with goto, when we use labels with break, and when we use labels with continue. So this is all about breaks, continues, and global in Go. There is more to come on. Thank you very much.